In this video, we're going to look at how to raise a holiday request using the WAP app. So on the right hand side is my app, and then just for comparison on the left hand side, this user, I've just put their holiday entitlement so that we can see the difference. So on the right hand side, the app then, every user, whether they're an approver or raising a document, is going to see this same sort of home screen. The icons might be different depending on what modules you have enabled, but this is for approval. So in order to raise a document and to raise a holiday, the first thing we need to do is pop up to our hamburger menu at the top left. Now ordinarily we'd also suggest doing a sync. I've done a sync just before I came on, as you can see. I've done one very recently. So I'm just going to pop on and select the holidays menu. And at this point you can see your holidays kind of header information. It's kind of like your homepage of holidays. So anything that might be new but not yet submitted sits in your new tab. Anything you've submitted but it's still waiting for approval is in your waiting tab. And then anything that might have been approved or rejected you will see in your approved and rejected tab. You've got some additional icons up here as well. You've got a calendar option, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and you've got this sync option. So this is new to version 20. We've now put the syncing option on the screen where you're doing your documents, just to save a bit of navigating around. So we'll just have a quick look at this calendar. This actually isn't a calendar, it's showing you your entitlement. So this is the same view as this desktop view basically. So you can see at a glance what you've booked, what you've taken, anything submitted, remaining, mandatory, etc. And you can also choose the year. So if you've got other holiday years set up yet, then you might be able to pick a different one from your holiday period. Now by default it's showing in days, but you can also show it in hours by sliding this toggle. Now you can also see this view from within your holiday request, but I just wanted to show you that it is visible here as well. So in order to submit a holiday request, we're going to come back to our new tab like we would in the desktop, and I'm just going to close my desktop now. And just click on Add a Holiday. So again, as I mentioned, here's your entitlement option up the top right. We're going to put in our holiday dates. So your app might look slightly different if you're using an Apple device. This is an Android device. So just select the date that you want to put your holiday for. And then you select the shift. Now you can ignore the times, those don't show on the desktop, but on the mobile app we're just showing what's been set up as a work pattern. But as I say, you can ignore them. It's just saying whether that shift, whether that holiday is going to be starting in the morning or in the afternoon. So I'm going to say in the morning, and then what date you're booking it to. So just like the desktop. And again, whether it's an afternoon or a morning shift. So this is 2 whole days. You've got an option as to whether it's unpaid or not. And then if you do have any notes, you can add these here. And that's pretty much it. Very simple. Save the line. And from here we can see we've got a new holiday that's going to need some submission. And this little orange arrow shows us, although it's been saved, it's not yet been synced. Those arrows will turn green when they've been synced, but we want to actually submit this holiday request before we sync it as well. So to do that, we just tap on the line and click submit. Or if we'd realised we'd made an error, we could edit it or delete it at this point as well. So now I've submitted it, you can see here's this little arrow to say, yep, I'm submitted, but I'm still not synced. So I'm just going to come up to this syncing arrow at the top right, and that takes you to your sync waiting page. So there might be other items if you were doing more than one at a time. So I'm just going to hit sync waiting, and what that sync waiting does is just push your holiday request from the app into the desktop. So at the moment it had an ID of M5, but now if we go to our waiting tab, we can see the WAP ID that's associated with it. So if I now click on here and click on show my requests, I can now see in my submitted tab I have something that's been submitted and it's waiting. Now one thing to note about the app that's slightly different to the desktop is that if there is a conflict, the end user will not see it in the app like you would on the desktop, but you can see from here conflicts is true, so there is actually a conflict for this one. Your approver will see it, and obviously as a user you can also come into your calendar in the desktop and just have a look at that particular holiday you've put in, so we can see why it conflicts. Someone else has already got some holiday in that week. But yeah, in terms of the app and submitting a request, that's it. You pop on your hamburger menu at the top, you add your holiday lines that you want, then you submit it and sync it, and it's into the desktop pretty much instantly.